Mhm. It's cute. Yeah. Okay, right, let's begin. Everyone, please say 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Very good evening to everyone. Um, dear Dhamma friends, before we start, let me do the same wish that we do on every day. So I sincerely wish that may this session also help you to develop at least little inner peace and little inner happiness within. At the same time, so I sincerely wish that may you be able to go closer to the ultimate peace, ultimate happiness, at least with one single step. Right. With that wish, we are going to start today's session. Right. So now the old students they are practicing the first step of vipassana meditation. So starting from next month, so next week, we are going to go to step number 2. So all students they are so practicing. They are observing the sensations on the top of on the area of their head, right? Right. So you know so when the sensations arise, so we have to understand that they don't have any shape, right? Therefore, whenever we observe the head, yes, constitutionally I mean, we decide areas like the front portion or the right ear, that portion of the head, top of the head, then so left ear, right? But overall, we have to understand that there is no such kind of so uh, so I mean, the such kind of an area that we can see, right? So with eyes, what you actually see is the color element of the body, right? Sensations are something so that you cannot see with the eyes. So don't so secure. So don't so uh, so don't make like so don't compare the shape that you see with the shape that the sensations do have. Therefore, just when you observe it, just so observe, so giving the bare observation, right? So so don't focus. So don't try to find a shape, a particular shape inside the sensation, inside the sensations. Can you understand what I say? Right. Can you understand? So you cannot. Yes, with the eyes you see this front portion of the head, but actually for the sensations, it doesn't have such kind of a. I mean, so division. So sensations, sometimes a sensation can be so visible, so one part of that sensation may be on will be active at one part of your front portion at the same time, so one part of your ear too, right? So like that, you cannot to decide the place of sensations, right? Place of sensations by by the way how we see. Uh, so the head with the eyes. So therefore, let go of the picture so that we have seen as the head, and when you observe the sensations, so just focus on those areas. So without any, without imagining, right, that these sensations should be limited to this particular area only, right? So don't think like that. Just observe them as they actually are, right? Giving you bare attention, right? Uh, Hope the Vipassana meditators, I think they can understand what I say. So then please practice it. So the new students, they'll be requested to practice the breathing, first step of breathing meditation. So I so one new student online, and then so we have Mr. Manish and Ramesh Pam too. So then you can practice still the first step of breathing meditation. But after, when you are good in your concentration, right? So after several more weeks, so please start practicing the Vipassana meditation. I'll help you. So what you have to do is, please pay your entire attention to the incoming and outgoing breath. When the breath is coming in, please be fully aware. When the breath is going out, please be fully aware. If the breath is long, let it be so. Don't try to change that. If the breath is short, let it be so. Don't try to change it. So let it come, let it go as it is. Just observe the breath so continuously without letting the mind to wander here and there. And then sometimes now, so some of you have been practicing for so several months. So sometimes you might experience the breath so coming through your right nostril, or sometimes coming through your left nostril, or sometimes coming through your both the nostrils, right? At such times, so just observe and recognize it as it is, and don't try to change it. Just keep on being aware about that incoming and outgoing breath. If it is long, if it is short, if it is cross, if it is soft, so let it be so. Just keep on observing the breath as it is, right? Then, so like that, so gradually let your focus, let your attention, let your concentration to develop. Simultaneously, happiness and peace also will develop within. But understand that these are conditional things, right? So don't cling to them, right? Let them arise as they arise, and let them pass as they pass. Just do your job. Just keep on practicing the concentration meditation practice as you are supposed to, right? Okay. So please ardently practice. Every day before we start, so I teach you something for your life. Today too, I'm going to teach you something very important for your life. Buddha says that when so four things are not happening at one at a house, at a home, then that house is bound to decline, right? So let's see what are those four things. First thing is so nattang na gavesinti. Nattang na gavesinti means so when something is broken, right? So when something is not usable, if we don't buy the same thing again, right, then that house is bound to decline in prosperity. Jinnanna patikaronti. Jinnanna patikaronti means, so if something is broken, if you don't repair, that house is bound to decline, right? You don't buy the new things for the old unusable things, and you don't repair the places that you need to repair, right? That's number 2. Then number 3 is, so aparimitta bhojana vattati. I mean, if you spend, so aparimitta bhojana vattati means, if you spend excessively without understanding the amount that you need to spend, right? So there are certain people that spend recklessly, right? Recklessly without understanding how much they should spend, right? Buddha says, so if we consume, so consume, um, so we have to earn, we should try to earn 4 times like the amount that we consume, right? So for an example, if we consume $100, so we need to earn 4 times like that, $400. And then Buddha says, so 2 portions should be invested, 1 portion should for your own personal consumption, and one part is for saving. Very nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you remember these things. Right. Then, so if they if they spend excessively without knowing the limit, so that will also so make the declining of that home. Fourth one is, so dusilang itingma purisangma adipatti tapinti. So if we so let an immoral, unorganized person to manage the household, right? That means if the wife or the husband is immoral, and that person is the one who takes the decisions related to the house, then so that will create the declining of that home. So these are the 4 things that can create a declining of a home. Similarly, a person will decline so when that person doesn't do 4 things, right? First one is recognizing one's own wrong actions. If that person doesn't try to come out of those wrong actions, that person will decline in life, right? Second one is, if someone doesn't understand one's own right actions and doesn't try to maintain those right actions continuously, that person is bound to decline in life. Sooner or later, we have a lot of negative influences in the world, right? So anytime, so we can get caught. We such kind of people can get influenced by bad friends, bad people. Then they take wrong decisions and they decline in life. And then third one is, if they don't live on this very third thing, if they don't live understanding one's own boundaries, that's number 3, right? If you don't understand your boundaries, right? So there are material boundaries and there are moral boundaries. If you don't understand so those boundaries, then such kind of person can decline in life. And then fourth one is, if you are not disciplined, if someone is not disciplined, that person also will decline in life, right? So all these 4 things are very important. Discipline is very, very important. Let me teach you one incident. Let me acknowledge you about one incident. which happened in dripping spells in Texas, right? Dripping springs in Texas. This happened in 1999, March, right? So in that area, there lived a family. So that family's last name is Allison. The Allison, let's call them the Allison family. This Allison family had three members: the father, the mother, and the son. The father is the mother is Mrs. Melinda, so who was a real estate. Who engaged in real estate business. They were rich. So and then after that, the husband was a software engineer, right, for a renowned company at that time. And then the son, the husband's name was Ron, and then the son's name was Reese, right? Suddenly, what happened? They were living very good life, right, in a luxurious home. But suddenly, in 1999 March, the son Reese, he started developing respiratory problems and neurological problems, right? Then they took the son they took the son to the hospital. Then the doctors checked him, but they couldn't figure out what has caused this problem, right? So somehow, they began treating him, and his situation was getting worse and worse. And then, after 1 or 2 weeks, the husband, Mr. Ron, he also showed symptoms of memory loss, confusion, and respiratory problems. He was admitted to the hospital too. Mrs. Melinda, she was traveling a lot, but somehow she is the one who didn't show any sickness, but she was always taking care of both of them. Finally, many people tried to good doctors tried to find the cause, but they couldn't find anything. And finally, Ms. Melinda, she met one Indo air expert, right? Indo air system expert, right? So while she was traveling, so somewhere else, by plane. And then after that, what happened was, when they talk to each other, that person, that expert, he was so much interested in the whole situation, so he came to that home, and then he checked the whole house, and he got the permission to break down the walls, and finally, inside the walls, he figured out the cause for the sickness, or sudden sickness of both the father and the son. What do you think? What might have happened? No. Exactly. So there had been a leak, right, which had been going on for many years. But the couple, they have noticed it, and they acknowledged the insurance company, who were in charge of taking care of the house, but they haven't taken the right action on the right time. They ignored it. And gradually what has happened was, that leaking water created some kind of a dangerous black mold. That black mold snake Black mode's name is Stachybotrys. Stachybotrys. Husband and the son, they stayed indoor most of the time. So they got it. And Ms. Melinda, since she was traveling here and there and doing so she didn't get affected because of the mold. But both of them got affected. And finally, they filed the case against the insurance company. At that time, so they got one record. So what do we call it? So record. Settlement. So record settlement at that time, which was $32 million. But Mrs. Melinda said to the media, this $32 million is nothing when we compare it to the loss. It may be a record-breaking settlement, but still, so the son's situation is the same, and the husband's situation is getting worse. Right? They didn't recover at all. So all those things happen. Why? Because they didn't do the right thing in the right time. Indiscipline, right? So therefore, being disciplined and doing the things on the right time, that is also very important for a thriving home. Okay? So that's the advice from the Buddha. Okay. Then please apply that so that you can have a good, stable life, right? And a peaceful life. And then later on, when you practice meditation, you can convert that very peace, right? Outside peacefulness to inside peacefulness when you practice meditation. And then gradually, you will be able to develop in the practice, right? And eradicating all the negativities, developing positivities, you will be able to attain real peace, real happiness. So please apply those things into your life. Right, now we are going to start. So everyone, please keep your right palm on your left palm. Then please keep your back straight, neck straight, and head straight. And after that, please let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax. First, as usual, let me pay our sincere respect and gratitude towards the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And after that, let's start today's silent meditation session. Everyone, please calmly concentrate. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itimiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho viññācarana sampanno sugato lokamido anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sataneva manusanam buddho bhagavati Tuakato bhagavata dhammo Sangnittiko akaliko Ehi pasiko opanaiko Bacatang veditabo Vinyo hiti Sopanipangno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujumadi pangno bhagavato savaka sangho ඥාය පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි මනිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අතපුරිස පුග්ගලම් ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනියෝ පාහුනියෝ දක්ඛිනියෝ අංජලි කරණියෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකසාති සාධු සාධු සාධු. With a very calm mind, with a very quiet mind, with an alert, very attentive mind, with a very balanced, equanimous mind. Everyone, please start your silent meditation. If you are an old student, please keep practicing. First, please practice breathing meditation for 5 minutes. And after that, please start practicing Vipassana meditation. And if you're a new student, as I so described, please practice the first step of breathing meditation. Whatever the meditation technique that you practice, regardless, I sincerely wish may your meditation be very, very successful. Very, very successful. Everyone, please start your meditation right now. Now, if your legs are hurting, you can change your posture. We are going to practice loving kindness meditation in brief. Loving kindness meditation in brief. First, let's share our sincere loving kindness with yourself. Please think, may I be well. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards yourself first. Now, please spread your loving kindness towards your dear parents, teachers, relatives, and friends. Please think, may my dear mother, may my dear father, may my dear teachers, relatives, and friends be well, be happy, be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all of them. All of them. Now, please spread your sincere loving kindness towards the neutral people. Please think, may all the neutral people be well. May all the neutral people be happy. May all the neutral people be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all the neutral people. Neutral people. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards the enemies. First of all, let's forgive for the mistakes that they did to hurt us. And at the same time, let's ask forgiveness mentally for the mistakes that you did to hurt them. Please spread your loving kindness sincerely towards your enemies. Please think. May my enemies be well. May my enemies be happy. May my enemies be peaceful. May they be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards your enemies. Your enemies. Now, let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. Not only towards human beings, let's think about all kinds of creatures. Let it be birds, reptiles, beings with two legs, beings with four legs, beings with no legs, or beings with multiple legs. Beings that are visible, beings that are invisible, beings who are closer to you, beings who are away, far away from you. Let's spread our loving kindness towards all the beings, all the beings. Please think. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be very peaceful. Please spread your sincere loving kindness towards all the beings in the world. All the beings in the world. Bhavatu sabbe mangalam. Rakantu sabbe devatam. Samme buddhanupavine. Samme dhammanupavine. Samme sanghanupavine. Sada sutti bhavang tutti. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now everyone, please calmly open your eyes. Let your whole body to relax. Let your whole body to relax from top to bottom and bottom to top. Please join your palms together and say 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, hope all of you had a very good meditation session. Uh, always we have to consider, so tomorrow is the, so during this month there are 2 full moon days. So tomorrow is the exact, uh, the the full moon day that Sri Lanka celebrates as the Buddha's birthday, right? So always we have to think that this Vipassana meditation practice as the greatest gift that you got from the Buddha, right? Through this meditation, you can understand about the nature of things as they actually are through your own experience, right? So therefore, please ardently practice thinking that you have got the greatest gift from the Buddha. Even though he is not physically in this world, he is giving. He is so he keeps on donating this great so meditation practice as the greatest gift that he can give to all the wise people that he encounters mentally, right? So then please ardently keep practicing. So now it is the time for the small break. So if you want drink water, or if you want to go to the bathroom, so you can take a small break. Then after 2-3 minutes, please be inside the home. Okay. Is there any celebration tomorrow? Oh no. So we already celebrated it, Mr. Manish. So there'll be one celebration in San Jose. I will let you know after the session. Yeah. It's on the 7th, next week. Let's start. Everyone, please say it 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, after every meditation session, we share some important factors which is related to the practice. And so during the last 3 weeks, we shared about 3 very important factors. They were called as 3 characteristics of life. Hope all of you remember. Remy, what is the first one? Yeah. Yeah, that's the second one. Mr. Manish, first one. First one, Ms. Jane, impermanence. And then after that, 302nd one, suffering. And third one, Mr. Kevin? No self. No self. So we already learned about these things. And so today, we are going to learn about another 4 important things. So another 4 important things, which is related to this meditation practice. So they are called as 4 noble truths. Right? 4 noble truths. So 4 noble truths, and in Pali they are called as Chaturarya Satya. Right? Chatu means 4. Arya means noble. Then Satya means truth. So 4 noble truths, right? So there are 4. I'm going to teach them one by one, right? One by one. Then first noble. Today we are going to learn about the first noble truth, right? First noble truth is it goes like this. So it is called as the suffering, right? The dissatisfaction, right? The dissatisfaction. Buddha says, as a summarization, I teach about two things. So the universal dissatisfaction or dukkha that we have within, and then the way to come out of it. So these are the two things that actually Buddha teaches, right? Uh, when someone asks the summary of Buddha's teaching, this is what Buddha said, right? So the universal dissatisfaction and the way to come out of that dukkha or dissatisfaction. And so, as I mentioned 2 weeks ago too, dukkha is translated as in various ways, right? So in various terms, like certain people say suffering. Then certain translators translate it as dissatisfaction, and then discontentment. Like that, you can find various kinds of words. But so actually, still we cannot figure out a proper translation to use for this. This phenomenon, right? This universal truth. It is finally what we have to say is dukkha means what it is. It is a combination of all these things, right? And we feel pain on our body and mind, right? We feel pain on our body and mind. But that pain, that physical and mental suffering, it is not the noble truth of suffering, right? It is a part. It is some kind of a effect that we experience because of the noble truth of suffering. But noble truth of suffering is totally different from that one, right? So we have to understand that. So people can see the pain, right? People can see the suffering in the world, but they cannot see the noble truth of suffering, right? That's why. If all the people know about the noble truth of suffering, dissatisfaction, then all are bound to practice, right? So all are bound to practice. The meditation halls and all such kind of places should be full of thousands and thousands of people, right? It's not like that. So only the wise people, they try to understand this noble truth of suffering, right? And only the wise people, they are the only ones who try to come out of this universal nature of suffering, dissatisfaction, right? Then so then we are going to learn about the first noble truth, so the noble truth about suffering or dissatisfaction. And if someone wants to uh, attain the real peace and real happiness, then the understanding of the first the noble truths is very important, right, for them. And without understanding the Four Noble Truths, so in the past, so we have gone through a lot of suffering. And without understanding the Four Noble Truths, if we don't understand the Four Noble Truths, and then the suffering that we have to undergo is also going to be boundless, right? Once Buddha said, Patavya eka rajjena saggassa gamanenava. It's in Pali language, those days language. Sabba lokadi paccena sota patti palangvara. That means Patavya eka rajjena, other than being the ruler of this earth, other than more than going to the heaven. Sabba lokadipacchen, more than being so the ruler of this universe. Sota patti phalang varam. So practicing dharma, attaining the first stage, understanding the first level of Four Noble Truths, right? So then Four Noble Truths up to the first level, right? So that is the best. That is the best. Then whenever someone understands the Four Noble Truths, Buddha says, then they try their best. They keep on practicing, giving their best. So just like a person, so whose head is on fire, right? When your head is on fire, will you wait or will you keep on? Will you keep trying to get rid of that fire? What will you do? Right? We'll try our best to get rid of it, right? Just like that. So the person who knows the Four Noble Truths, so tries that person's utmost best to come out of all the suffering, right? Then, that's what Buddha said. Then we need to understand, so what this suffering is, right? So what's the, suffering, and at the same time, what is the noble truth about suffering, right? So we have a table here. We have a table here, right? So let's suppose. Let's suppose I like this table, right? Then when it breaks down, so will it cause happiness inside me or sadness inside? It causes sadness inside me. So then when you feel sadness, is it suffering or not suffering? That's a feeling of suffering, right? But so feeling of suffering, so that's a separate, that mental pain that we experience, right? It's a separate thing. But the nature of this, so it's decaying. It's some kind of a phenomenon which is already existing. Can you understand? So this is the noble truth. Can you understand? Right? So the breakable nature of this, so this table, it is the noble truth. Right? So what we need to whenever we understand the nature of the noble truth about suffering, in this, when it breaks inside us, there won't be any pain, right? So then the mental suffering disappears when we know the noble truth about suffering. Correct? Okay. Then in this world, so there are so many things. Buddha describes the suffering, and there are many things which leads to the suffering, dissatisfaction. First one is jati, right? Jati means birth. So birth is suffering. So that's number one. So in beings there is this nature of birth, right? How does a birth happens? So when it comes to the time of passing away, right? So right at the brim of your death, you generate a thought called the last thought. In Pali, it is called as Chuti Chitta, right? So this is deeply described in Buddhist teaching, but this is not the time to describe the whole thing. Just understand there is something called the last thought. What will be the last thought? What do you think? Anything from the atmosphere? No. Most probably, I mean, the last thought will be something that you multiply throughout your life. For most of throughout your life, if you so if you multiplied some kind of a thought, right, throughout your life, let it be a positive one or let it be a negative one, so it will be the thought, right, which will so come up at the end of any being's life. Not only human beings, all beings, right? So Buddha talks about various kinds of beings, right? Some of them can be seen, some of them cannot be seen, all the beings, right? Then, so then that person, that being, so will be born, so into it, so we'll get attracted to it, another life, right? Another life. So because of that last thought and because of the karmas too, right? And then so we are going later on by October, I think September, October, we are going to learn about the nature of karma too. In I mean, yeah. So in summarize, but in with important details, I'll describe them. But somehow, so for now, just understand because of the last thought and the karmas, you'll get attracted to it. Any being can get attracted to it, another life. And beings, according to Buddha, beings can be born in 4 ways, right? So can you, all students, can you remember the 4 ways? First one is by egg. Okay, by egg, beings are born, right? Then second one, yes, very nice. In water, beings are born. We are also beings who are born inside a water bag, right? Right. So in water, beings are born. And then third one, so Miss Tu, can you remember? Mr. Kevin, I saw you tossing your head. Is this driving? Okay, right. Mr. Abi? Okay. Right. Then third one is uh, in wet places. Right. So in wet places, beings are born. Right. Fourth one is by appearance, beings are born. Right? These are the 4 ways of births. Right. Whenever a being is born, right, starting from that point, the other sufferings continue. Right? Therefore, so birth is considered as the first cause of all kinds of sufferings. Right? And then second one, so is decay. Decaying is also suffering. Right? So birth is suffering, and then after that, so in birth there is this phenomenon of, so there is this noble truth of suffering, right? And then in decaying, in the nature of decaying, there is this noble truth of suffering, right? So we decay continuously. So I taught you. So atoms arise and passing. So atoms arise and pass away continuously. That's what happened in the past, in the present, and in the future, right? So whatever the atoms that we had in the past, we don't have them right now, and whatever the atoms that we had inside our bodies right now won't go to the future, right? Can you understand? Right? So we decay continuously. We decay. This so at birth people celebrate, but so when you grow old, do we celebrate? So when we are born, we say happy birth. I mean, people are so happy. But when you decay, are you happy? So when you, so I mean, hair becomes whiter and whiter. So are you happy? So do you see? I mean, so nobody celebrates that, right? Instead, you run to the shop and buy some hair dye, and then you dye it and say, "I am still young, and I am not old." But that's something which is there, right? So decaying is also a suffering, and it is inside decaying. There is this noble truth of suffering. Noble truth of suffering, right? And then then third one is sickness. So sickness is also suffering. So there are two kinds of sicknesses: mental sicknesses and physical sicknesses, right? So constantly, we are struggling between, uh, craving and aversion, right? And then at the same time, so inside our bodies, we have two kinds of sicknesses that we encounter daily. What are those two sicknesses? Hunger and thirst. Hunger and thirst. Very nice. So we experience it. So throughout the life, we are experiencing sickness, and sickness is also a suffering. And inside sickness, there is this noble truth of suffering. If you understand that, then when you are sick, you won't go depressed, and you don't think that there is something wrong in you. You accept it as it is, right? Then Buddha, in Girimana Sutta, Buddha talks about various kinds of sicknesses: Chakku rogo, Sota rogo, Gana rogo, Jivha rogo. So eye sicknesses, nose sicknesses, ear sicknesses, tongue sicknesses, body sicknesses, right? So like, there are various kinds of sicknesses that Buddha talks about. So this is not the time to talk about, go with the list. So somehow we have to understand there are so many sicknesses, and all those sicknesses. So we are because of all those sicknesses, we are suffering. And in all kinds of sicknesses, there is this noble truth of suffering. Right. Fourth one is death. Death is also a suffering. Right. Death is also a suffering. Death can so there are two kinds of deaths according to Buddha.
Something is wrong with the sound.
Right. How about now?
It's
Can you?
good. Good.
Very much. Thank you. Right. Then, right. Then, death can happen in four ways. Someone can pass away when that person's lifespan is over. Someone can pass away when that person's karma is over. Karma is over means, so there are certain people who pass away at the womb of the mother or during the delivery. So after a few hours, few days, a few months from the delivery. So during the childhood, during the middle age, right? So like that, if someone passes away, that is called as the karmic death. Right? Third kind of death is so uh, the the deaths which happen when someone's karma, both karma and lifespan is over. That means, there are certain people who live 100 years, 90 years, 100 years, 110 years, 120 years plus, right? They live so they live long lives, right? Thanks to their past good karmas, and then because of the such kind of the lifespan that person get, right? So it happens at the birth, right? Uh, whenever we are conceived at the mother's womb, so that body generates some kind of an energy because of that person's past karma to live to sustain up to particular amount of time. And it doesn't mean that person would live up to the up to that very I mean that very amount of time. Accidents might happen and that person can pass away, but somehow so there is something, such kind of an energy in each and every body when someone is conceived inside the mother's womb. And then fourth one is accidental deaths. Accidental deaths. So certain beings, so they pass away because of accidents. So these are the four kinds of deaths in the world. So regardless of these four categories, we are bound to pass on. We are bound to pass on. Then it is so no death is so no death brings happiness, right? All the deaths cause suffering, right? Therefore, in death we can see the noble truth of suffering, right? Then fifth one, so I mean departing from the loved ones. That's number 5. Departing from loved ones. So that causes suffering, right? If you love someone, if you like someone, when that person departs, right, or passes away, then it causes suffering. So then next one, number 6. So so having to associate the people or things that you don't like, that also causes suffering. So there are people that you don't like. There are incident situations that you don't like. But you have to live under those situations, or you have to associate those people. It causes suffering. Right? Then so in both those occasions, there is in both those incidents, there is the noble truth of suffering. And then whatever you expect, it doesn't happen. Something else happens. Number 7, right? Number 7. So yampi chang nalabati tampi dukkha. Right? Whatever you expect, it doesn't happen. Something else happens. It also causes suffering. And inside all those things, all those expectations, you can find the noble truth of suffering. And then so all these things come into one conclusion, right? One summarization. So the continuation, right? The arising and passing of all these things happen because of the rising and passing away of 5 aggregates. Can you remember? I told you about the 5 aggregates, right? So what is the first aggregate? Form. Very nice, Mr. Kevin. What is the second aggregate means to? Abhi?
Perceptions.
That's third one.
Sensations.
Sensations, perceptions. Mr. Manish, can you remember?
First one, consciousness.
Consciousness, really nice. Oh no. Mrs. Jane? Mental formation. Good job. So all these five. So then they arise and pass away, right? So so they are the ones which cause all these above things. Right? So therefore, in all those five things, they contain this noble truth of suffering. Right? So no one, it doesn't matter whether you are a Buddhist, Hindu, Christian, or Muslim, or it doesn't matter whether you are an Asian, so American, African, or Oceanian, or anyone. So we all have this nature, this noble truth within all those five ingredients. Right? So when you understand that, whatever the changes that they cause, regardless, your mind stays very calm, right? So when you are in darkness, when you don't know this first noble truth, what will happen is when those things happen, so you shake, right? So, but when you understand this first noble truth, right? So for now you know it so just as theory, but through your own practice, vipassana meditation, when you understand this first noble truth, what will happen is, so when those things happen, right? When those things happen, uh, so when things change, when all those sufferings happen in life, so you stay knowing about them. So you will have less suffering first, and then finally you will come out of all the suffering. Right? Okay. Now let's conclude. Everyone, please think together, all of us gathered here. Then we practice this noble non-sectarian pure meditation technique, and then and listen to this noble dharma and accumulated a lot of positive energy. By the power of all this positive energy, may all our troubles be. May all the good things happen in our lives. May we be able to practice this noble, non-sectarian, pure Dhamma path ardently, practicing it, coming out of all the negativities, developing all the positivities. May all of us attain real peace, real happiness, Nibbana. Everyone, please join your palms together and concentrate. Please concentrate. Abhivadana Senisen Nichang Bata Pachain Chattaro Dhamma Vandanti Ayuvano Sukang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagya Sampatti Me Vache Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samijjito. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good night to everyone. May all of you be well, be happy, be peaceful, take rest, and see you again on next Friday. Take care. Bye. Good night. Right. Good night, Ms. Jainas. Good night, Mr. Juan, Ms. Rita.
Good night, Bhante.
Good night. Right. Let me. Right, Buddhinia, good night.
Good night, Bante.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, Mrs. Shainas and Mr. Adil.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Bhante.
Good night.